Unit 9 of Block 3, International IMC Strategy. IMC stands for Integrated Marketing Communications. So, before you proceed further, already we have talked about the marketing mix, which comprises of product, price, place, and promotions. The promotion part of the marketing mix leads to communication strategy. What kind of promotional strategy the company should adopt so that it will be getting the attention of the target audience? That is why we will be discussing on the topic international market IMC strategy. Is it different from the national marketing strategy, national communication strategy? That will be the point of discussion for today's class. So, if we talk about the promotional mix, the promotional mix includes the four elements, which are advertising, sales promotion, direct marketing, public relations, and publicity. The five elements that is included in the promotional mix. If you talk about the advertising is a paid form of communications, whereas public relation is a short-term public relation is a establishing relationship with your stakeholders. Sales promotion is a short-term activities where you go for giving incentive to the customers. Publicity is a non-paid publicity is a free content, and your direct market direct contacting with the customers. Over the years, the inclusion of technology has brought changes as far as the promotional mix is concerned. If you talk about advertising is also is no more the same advertisement. Whatever you give, whatever you promote, people will try to give your attentions. No, that is, it has become more interactive and digital. If you do not have your promotion is up to the, if your advertising is up to the mark, then people do not get the attention to your advertising. Similarly, sales promotion and personal selling has become more customized. You have to bring customized tailor-made solutions for the for the customers. Direct marketing has become more popular because your direct interaction with the customers, and public relations have become a source of competitive advantage. Because why? Now, in public relations, you will be establishing relationship with the stakeholder for in the long run. So where that is exactly, it is a more of is a authentic source of communicating to the target audience. So that is why the scope of promotional mix, which includes advertising, sales promotion, direct marketing, and your personal selling and public relation, has changed over the year, and it has to deal separately by the marketers. The scope of marketing communication also not limited to that is only one area. It has gone beyond that. It has no more confined to only to the marketing mix. It has included the branding aspect, the packaging aspect, online pages, printed materials, sponsorship, trade shows, appearance, everything it has to include it. The two things we have talked about this one. The first one is over the years, the advertising, the promotional mix has changed it's changed its approach. So that is why you have to bring more interactive, more engaging, more digital platforms so that people will be engaged. The second one is the scope of marketing is not more limited to only to the traditional marketing mix, which includes product, price, place, and promotions. It has also included branding aspect, packaging aspect, online presence aspect. These all are things were included in the communication mix. So when you talk about the integrated communication mix, integrated marketing communications, or integrated marketing communications is basically exactly when you try to, we can have a, because if you are going for a one way of communicating to target customers, you will be missing some of the customer. If you are going for advertising or sales promotion or publicity, then you are missing one category of customers. That is why IMC is a tool which is integrated, which is coordinating. So that is why the integrated, and why? Because the message will be consistent message across all time. Across over the time, the message will be consistent. That is why we are going for the integrated marketing communications. That we talk about the integrated marketing communication is a process where the brand contacts the customer or prospect for a product, service, or are relevant to the customer and consistent over the time, and all your platforms that are integrated and they all will speak in the same language, so that there will be no disparities as far as the communication, there is no confusion as far as communication concerned across all media platforms. That is why we are going for the IMC. IMC means coordinating all the marketing communication, that is exactly on, and has to be options of reinforce, synergize, complement one another, deliver single, coherent, and consistent message to the target audience. That is exactly already you have talked about that, how it will become more consistent, more coherent, and the customer will be getting the same message across all platforms. So if you take the example of now, that is exactly most of the companies are going for the IMC. They do have presence over traditional media. They also have presence over the social media. They also presence in the modern media, because all medias are integrated and coordinated, so that that is exactly what will happen. So your message will reach to the maximum number of audience. Also, there will be consistent message across all platforms. So that is why we are going talking about the integrated marketing communications. When you talk about the integrated marketing communication, what are the rationale behind IMC? That is exactly, so that is exactly what happens. The credibility of the traditional media has decreased over the years, because people do not have time to watch television. They do not have the time to read newspapers. So that is why, and people know that is whatever money is spent on advertising, or that is money is spent on advertising, is all are paid by the customers. So that is why the credibility of the communication mix has decreased over the years, and also the impact both has decreased over the years, because people are not considering that is communication or advertising is a right approach, right platform to connect with the customers. So that is why there is a new talking about there is a evolution of IMC that is came into picture. Then also when you talking about the cost associated with the communication, better, that is exactly the cost of going for advertising cost around 10 lakhs for 10 seconds long, 15 lakhs for 10 seconds long. That is why to have a, when you are going for integrated or IMC kind of thing, what will happen? You can have a combined effort and the cost will be minimal. That is the another aspect that is talking about the rationale of IMC. Third one is when talking about the integrated marketing communication is also necessary due to the growth in number of products that manufacturer introduces to the market. That is when you are limited with one or two products, you can go for the advertising or sales promotion. But when you have a n number of products, when you have a combination of many products, so exactly you will be going for integrated marketing communications. Then last not the least is exactly we talk about already we have talked about that. That is the consistency, and all will talk about the same language. Consistency will be there, and optimization resource will be there. That is why we are going for the IMC. We talked about IMC. IMC is a process where we try to integrate, we coordinate all the activities. Then where all the medias, they will speak about the same language, one voice. So the message will go to the diverse kind of customers. When you talk about the rationale of IMC, because the other media, the traditional media, they have lost their credibility, and the impact is not significant as far as traditional media is concerned. That is why, and second one is you talk about the decreased cost of obtaining marketing information is also very decreased cost. That is why we are talking about on a aspect where we can minimize our cost. Third one is integrated marketing communication is also necessary due to the growth of number of products. We do have so many products. So if you are relying on one or two channels, one or two medias, then that will not become more impactful or significant. That is why you have to go for a coordination of all the media, so that it will become more impactful and significant. And last not the least is that is resource optimizations and consistency. That is why we are going for the IMC. When you talk about the elements of integrated marketing communication, elements of integrated marketing communication includes advertising is one of the aspect, which is advertising is one of the paid form of communications where the sponsor is identified, and it is has a reach to the large number of audience at one time. So one of the advantage of advertising is, even if it's a costly affair, But advertising is a is an instrument which can motivate people, which has different functions. It can inform, it can persuade, it can recall. It has three kinds of exercise. It's a function of inform you, educate the customers about the product, and also persuade, motivate the customers, and recall. Exactly that happens in case of advertising. So advertising is differs from other form of communication, but advertising has one of the disadvantages. It's a costly, highly costly. It is costly affair as compared to others. So that is why, but advertisement has powerful to influence anybody in the as far as marketing is concerned. So advertisement has the potential to customers to attract the product and help them to become loyal to the product. Because already I've talked about that advertisement has three functions. One is information, inform. Second one is persuade. Third one is recall. So that is the three functions of advertising. Advertisement not only persuade, not only informs, it also has the recall exercise. That is advertisement. Advertise the growing trend of advertising, that is most of the companies we cannot, every company cannot afford for advertising, because if you wanted to go for a national channel or international channel, what happens, the cost of going for advertising is huge amount. So we talk about, there is a concept called top of the mind recall. Top of the mind recall, if you wanted to get top of the mind recall in the customers, you have to spend more on advertising, and advertisement is a costly. So that is why to go for advertising is not the cup of tea of every company. So that is why we have to, companies are looking for the other forms of communications. When you talk about the second one, we talk about the public relations and publicity. When you talk about the public relation is not only that, is exactly, it is a it is a tool which manages long-term relationship with all stakeholders, where we have employees, shareholders, customers, public, media, society, and government. You are connecting with each and every stakeholder in different ways, so that exactly the message will become authentic one, and also to become, so you can engage all your stakeholders through the public relations. People have more belief on public relations as compared to advertisement. The management of communications and relationship establish goodwill and mutual understanding between the organization and its public is also known as public relations. Public relation is one of the nowadays growing trend. It is more companies, most of the companies, they consider public relation is the best way to connect with the target audience, and where you are connecting with all your stakeholders, so you carry a better image, you establish a goodwill, you have a mutual understanding between the organization and its public through the public relations. When you go for the publicity, publicity is a non-paid form of communication. Publicity where you do not pay anything. A particular manner of information projection through various media of mass communication about an organic product events to influence the public opinions. The public city is different, but publicity also has a different aspect. It also has a positive aspect, negative aspect. And if you go for more publicity, it will carry a negative aspect. That is why carefully you have to design the publicity. Public relations is all about building relationship with all your stakeholders, where mutual understanding, goodwill can be established between the organization and its public. Publicity is where we talk about the manner of information projection for various media of communications about an organization, product, event, and issues to the influence of public opinion. When you talk about the next one, we talk about the sponsorship. Sponsorship is a growing component of integrated marketing, which is a financial partnership between business and other business or event. In addition to fostering cross-platform, cross-media relationships, sponsorship aids in developing, reinforcing the brand image and values. But here also you have to pay certain amount of money for as far as your promotion is concerned. In order to sponsor something, you either must either entirely or partially take care of the financial needs. So that is why sometimes we go for the promotion, sometimes, but what happens, because the cost involved in sponsoring cricket is high as compared to other sports. So that is why the companies, they are diversifying themselves to go for the other events. As far as if you go for a sponsorship of one of the cricketers, if you any cricketer wanted to take to sponsor your product or services, you have to pay crores of rupees. That is why the companies now they are diversifying themselves to the local celebrities who can sponsor their product or services and will charge less price. Companies are always looking for the alternative ways to get connected with the customers and what will be the best one. But still, sponsorship is exactly whether you go for local or national or international, but it has that is cost involved. That is what you can go for the entire sponsorship or partially to take care of the financial needs. When you talk about the sales promotion is basically is a short-term activity. Is a short-term activity, but where you give incentive to the customers to encourage for more purchase. Whereas advertisement, give a reason to buy. That is sales promotion gives you the incentive to buy. Advertising gives a reason to buy. Sales promotion gives you incentive to buy. So already you can justify why I am purchasing this product, because you are getting more incentive as far as your product is concerned. That is why you are going for the product. That is the case of sales promotion. Sales promotion has different tools to go for the sales promotion. Companies offer discounts, 20% discount, 30% discount. That is exactly most of the companies online business. They throughout the year they continue with the same sales promotions. But can you go for the sales promotion throughout the year? There's a big question. If you go for the sales promotion throughout the year, what will happen? That will deteriorate your brand image. So most of the renowned company they do not go for sales promotion throughout the year. But if you are a new company, if you wanted to get more sales, then you have to go for the sales promotions. Sales promotion discount is you can give a discount of 10, 20% or 30% to encourage customer to purchase your product. You can give coupons. Also, you can give rebates. You can give price ups. Context is all about that is exactly you can go for a lucky draw kind of things where you'll be encouraging customer to be a part of the context, and once they join the context, they participate in the event, then finally you are coming with it that is prize for the customers. In the demonstrations, sweepstakes in the sense that is exactly you have to purchase. If you purchase some product, you'll be getting another product along with that product. That is 10% more. Is the all are the different tools here the companies are adopting for the sales promotional activities. Sales promotion is more or less a short-term activity. It is exactly differs from other forms of communication where advertising does not give incentive, plus public relation does not give incentive, public city does not give incentives. But as far as sales promotion is concerned, sales promotion give you the incentive to buy the product. The methods of sales promotion: discounts, coupons, rebates, price of context, demonstration, sweepstakes, 10% more. These are some of the ways to go for the sales promotion. During festive season, most of the companies they used to go for the sales promotions. Why? Because they know during that period people have a intention to purchase more. So that is why if you are giving some offers, discounts or rebates, then exactly the sales can be increased through those sales promotions. That is, we talk about the sales promotion. Next one, we talk about the gamifications. Gamification is a growing trend. That is exactly most of the gamification is meant to engage your customers. Because if you are gamification marketing emerges, new strategies motivating getting customers. Mostly gamification exactly it engage the customers for a longer period of time. Where the recall exercise happens, the persuasion is happens. That is why gamification is more nowadays targeted towards the younger generations as far as promotion is concerned. Content marketing is the process of generating content in order to sell product, be it travel blog or travel agent site or photos uploaded by the amateur stylist or clothing e-commerce apps. Content marketing is also another one of the that is the part of integrated marketing communications. So gamification is also that is one of the growing trend where we are trying to engage the customers through the gamification. We are trying to involve them through gamifications. Content marketing, here we talk about the content, generating content in order to sell products, be it a travel blog or a travel agent site, then we are going for the content one. Next, we talk about the direct mail or email. Always there is a, even if you go for advertising or sales promotion or public relation, but every time that is the direct works. So direct, exactly, you are when the message is personalized. In direct case of direct mail, the message can be personalized. So here we talk about the communication with a specific audience. If you wanted to communicate with a specific audience, then better way of communicating is a direct mail or email. But there is a problem of people used to avoid the emails. But still, that is exactly, we have to go for the direct mail or email. It can be used to send reminders or coupons to the current clients, as well as to offer quick sample sales opportunity to attract new clients. Additionally, it can be used to update clients of new offering and postal. Mostly, direct mail is personalized one, and you try to engage all your customers through the direct mail and email, because you are providing information to them through the way of direct mail. Then we talk about the events and exhibition and conference. Part of another, we talk about the events. That is, event is a good opportunity for socializing and gathering. And exactly, if it is a event is theme based event, so any event, whether they are the press conference, product displays, or promotional events, are effective ways to educate, persuade the target audience. Because in case of events, mostly, or exhibitions or conference, mostly there is a direct interaction with your customers. When your direct interaction is the customer, the impact is altogether different. So direct touch or personal touch has to be there, even if you are going for a different kind of communications. So that is exactly we talk about while arranging the event, an event. What is the event's purpose? If it is trade show, the goal is to network with prospective buyers and sellers. Yes. If it is a charitable event, the goal is to improve the company's reputations. Then, if the goal could range from boosting sales to enhancing public relations. So, in case of your events and exhibition and conference, that gives you a platform to engage or to communicate with the target audience, where you can have have two objective in your mind. The objective is to boost sale, and the objective is to enhance public relations. Two things can be done through the events, exhibitions, and conference. So conference, events, and exhibitions provides a platform, opportunity to socializing and gathering, and also they have become a right way to enter into the market, enter into the customer's mind, because it educates and also it pursues the target audience about the event. So that is why we talk about the different events. Then we talk about the merchandising and point of sales. We talk about the merchandising and point of sales. We talk about in-store promotions, in-store promotions. So when people realize that is whatever we are getting in the point of sales, we are getting something discount, something offers, that is more impactful as compared to advertising or sales promotion, because they are, exactly, they are communicated through a different way. But here, in case of merchandising and provincial, that is a more of human touch will be there. Everything that helps promote the selling of product services at retail is referred as a merchandise. It involves a range of tasks, including choosing the packaging display. Packaging is also becomes a point of, exactly, communication to the target audience. Display, designing the display, coming up with communication plans, and pushing sales and promotion competitive coupons, that all become a part of the communication, integrated marketing communications. When you talk about the POS, point of sales materials, that is exactly the marketing material that enables customer to make decisions promptly. Customers' perception of the brand are reinforced by a point of sales. So that is exactly, because the more time the customer is spending inside the retail stores, he will be, engaged, or he will be coming across with your point of sales materials. So if the point sales of materials are effective one, and it is a very exciting one, automatically the attention will go to that place, and there is a possibility the customer may be influenced to purchase the product. Then the last one we talk about, last point element of integrated marketing communication is the packaging one. Packaging not only keeps the product safe, or it provides a safety, but it is the packaging is another way of communication to the target audience. It is often said that a person is complete package. The idea conveyed by the sentence is that person offers a comprehensive solution to difficult. They are not in a way to rely on outside butter to complete a specific task. That is why we are going for the packaging one. So these are the some of the elements of that is the elements of integrated IMC integrated marketing communications, where you talk about advertising is one of the first one is advertising, but advertising is a paid form of communication where mass audience is there, but the sponsor you have to identify the sponsors. That is the advertisement, but advertisement the benefits are it can reach thousands of customers, lakhs of customers with a single advertising, and it is interactive, it is also engaging. But question is that when it comes to advertising, advertising is basically is a costly affair. Then we talk about the public relations and publicity. Public relation is one of the authentic source, has more credibility as compared to others, because you wanted to connect all with your stakeholders, all with your stakeholders with different ways. So that is why it improves your goodwill and mutual understanding with the organization and public. And last one, we talk about the publicity is one of the that is exactly that is non-paid form of communications. When you talk about the sponsorship, sponsorship is a growing component of integrated marketing. Is often financial patronage between business and other businesses or events, fostering cross-platform, cross-media relationships, sponsoring aids in developing, that is reinforcing the brand's image and values. In order to sponsor something, you must either entirely or partially take up care of the financial needs. That is why sponsorship is also another costly form to connect with the customers. When you talk about the sales promotion differs from other forms of communication in way of that is gives incentive to purchase more product. That we talk about the sales promotion. Sales promotion includes discounts, coupons, rebates, price ups, context, demonstrations, all points comes from the sales promotions. When you talk about the gamification is exactly growing trend, because the customer is coming across so many information throughout the day. Who is information he will retain, who is information he has to forget. That is a difficult task in front of the customers. So that is why we wanted to have a co-creation, or we are trying to involve the customer for a longer period of time, so that the customer will be involved and he will take decision and that will influence his behavior. That is why we talk about the gamification. Then we talk about the content marketing is the process of generating content in order to sell product. That is another one. Then we are talking about direct mail or email. Direct mail, directly contacting with your customer, personal, very personal and cost-effective approach to communicate with the specific audience. They are used to send reminders. That is, you talk about the direct mail. Then events and exhibitions and conference give you the platform to engage or to educate, persuade the large target audience. Also, that is events also give a platform. Also, it is becoming more important. Then we talk about the merchandising and sales. Merchandising is the kind of products you are offering. If the product is also providing some information or the point of sale, that is exactly becoming easier for the marketer to communicate with the target audience. Then last one we talk about the packaging. Packaging is the way to communicate with the target audience. When you talk about the benefits of IMC, benefits of the IMC, it improves the audience communication consistently. Because why? Because all your messages go through different medias and the voice is remains same. The communication strategy mostly consistent communication strategy. That is why we talk about one of the benefit of integrated marketing communication. The audience is not confused with a message that is constantly and straightforward. Yes, communication gains credibility when messages are concise and consistent. Yes, definitely, because we are coming across with so many advertisements, so many communication throughout the day. So who is information we have to keep, which information we have to forget, that is a difficult task. That is why during the in the time of cutthroat competition, or when the market has become cluttered, so you wanted to have a different communication strategy to connect with the target audience. Communication gains credibility when messages are concisely utilize resources effectively and preventive waste and duplications are the two benefits of integrated. Yes, because that is your all platforms are integrated. That is why there will be no duplication of work. Customer more like to be wise purchasing choice as they become more informed thanks to clear, consistent message communications. It supports company effort to maintain its reputation. Yes. So IMC helps the company to maintain their brand equity because why? All are integrated, coordinated efforts. So that is why the message you are sending to the public that will become remain the same, and it will become it improves the that is the improves the reputation of the company. It facilitates communication with the customer with fosters relationship building. Long-term brand loyalty is also ensured. It boosts the organization profit because it is more efficient as compared to others. That is why we are talking about the benefits of IMC. That is audience communication consistently, confused not with by a single constant statement message. Communication gives credibility, and customer like to purchase choice become more informed thanks to the clear, consistent communications. When you talk about the how can you have a design a strategy for your communication, formulating an integrated marketing communication plan. When you're talking about the integrated marketing communication plan, we have to have a understanding so stack. So stack is nothing but it's a acronym. It's a it stands for situation analysis, objectives, strategy, tactics, actions, and control. What about situation analysis? Situation analysis is nothing but where do we stand in the competitions. That all about the situation analysis. Where O is the objective, what you would like to achieve, and strategy is the how you will be achieving your objectives. Tactics is the course of action, and action that is exactly. And last one is if there is a deviations, you have to go for the control mechanism. That is you talk about the SOSTAC. When you take the example, suppose you are you are talking about the situations. Suppose you analyzed your position in the market is a market challenger. So market leader is there, market challenger, market follower, market niche. But your position is market challenger. So you are the second position, not in the first one. Your objective would be to become the market leader because you are a challenger. You wanted to become market leader. Your objective. What could be your strategy? How you will be achieving that marketing leader strategy? That strategy. When you talk about the how one, then we talk about that it is the strategy. When we talk about the strategy, we talk about the small action plans. Even if you have a strategy of 1 year, when you are dividing the strategy for month basis, for day basis, then we talk about the actions. Then we talk about there is a always everything, there is a whatever you wanted to implement, and once you implement, then you will see some deviation is there. To manage that deviations, you have to go for the control mechanism. That is you talk about the SOSTAC. We talk about the next one. We talk about the social media and IMC. The key elements in successful social media is the ability to users to evaluate, react, comments on review, reply to the new media platforms. Social media requires somebody has to be engaged, somebody rank, give review, and reply to the new media environment. That is exactly what talking about the social media. It plays a vital role in understanding the brand's target audience. According to a survey during the fourth quarter of 2021 of daily active users of Facebook, 1.93 billion were the users with a gain of 84 million users. So you have that is social media. That is you have advantage. You can track the activities of your customers or users. Second one is you can also engage your customers because of your social media presence. You can engage. You can give them the content which they look for, because if they watch one content every time, you will can track what is their choice, what is their preference. So that exactly how you can design the content as far as social media is concerned. These social networks and open source social computing tools on which they are based can be used by marketers to broaden the scope of their offerings, allow companies to opportunity to interact with customers. So exactly this is we talk about the social network is the growing platform, growing like an area where the companies they wanted to engage, they wanted to provide the better solution to the customers as far as social media marketing is concerned. Then next we talk about social media and IMC. We talk about the automation in marketing. When you talk about automation in marketing, already we talk about that. The marketing is tracking all your activities. Social media marketing is tracking all your marketing activities, and also they design or they customize their offering as per the requirement of the customers. So that is why automation marketing strategy have been automated to deliver customized content that is more relevant, individualize the customer at the right moment on the right platform when they most prepared to accept it. That is why the one of the benefit of social media, it is automated and it also customized and give you personalized messages to the customers. Social CRM, social media has made it simpler for business to communicate with their customer because your things are defined. As far as social media is concerned, your customer is defined, your communication is defined, your everything is defined, and also you are able to track. But in case of traditional media, what happens? Traditional media, you are not able to track the activities by the customers. But in case of social media, you are able to track the activities of the customer. That is why it becomes easier for you, for the business to communicate with their customer in a way that is affordable productivity. Because let me set you an example. If you wanted to reach 10,000 people through your communication approach, if you take the help of advertising or if you go for the print media, you have to spend minimum 20-30,000 rupees to connect with 30 to 10,000 customers. But whereas if you are going for you're taking the help of social media, you can reach that number of customers with the spending of 1,000 rupees, because you will be going for Facebook, Insta, or going for Facebook or Insta, and you have a developing a content, and content is more of customized, and you wanted to connect with your target audience, and your everything you'll be defining. Your target audience is defined, your age group is defined, your demographic details are defined, everything is defined. That is why it is more of automation in marketing and social CRM. That is why social media has become a growing trend or growing approach as far as marketing is concerned. Then we're talking about that is you talk about the big data and promotional plans. What about the big data? The big data can be defined as the data that has a wider variety, arrives at faster rate, arrives in higher quantities. So data is now becoming the new norm for any business. If your business wanted to sustain, you have to work with the data. Data is collected from various sources. You can collect data because if you analyze, one customer used to spend 8 to 10 hours in a social media or in a mobile, and mobile phone has become his brain when he is trying to search each and every aspect of the things through social media. What happens? That is, he is able to engage in different activities. When he is engaged with different activities, you are getting the data from the different sources. Sources, what are the sources? Sources are the blogs, comments, app, permissions, online survey, visual check-ins, e-commerce. You are getting n number of data about the customers. Improved customer acquisition retention is another benefit of application because you have all information about the customers. So customer, when you have all information about the customer, it assists marketers in gathering, analyzing data from a variety of sources, including web, mobile application, email, via live chat, even in-store applications. So that is why your decision making process become easier one for a marketer. That is why we are talking about social media. Then when you talk about the international marketing, international advertising strategy, is it different? Whether the same advertising strategy you can run across the globe, or you can have different advertisement for different regions. So that is why when you talk about the international, you have three options. The first option is to extend the advertisement or communication what is prevailing in the domestic country, or you adopt you altogether go for a different one, or you create a new message. So that is why the advertising is concerned. It's called a mitigating factors can be called noise, have an effect on decisions to extend, adopt, create new messages. Advertising is an important component of integrated foreign marketing plan, but its role is specific marketing programs varies depending on the overall marketing strategy used. The cultural difference may account for a greatest challenge. So that is why unless you have a adaptability approach, you can have a adaptable approach. It is not easier to get the attention of the target audience. So when you talk about the Burger King or McDonald's, being an international company, as far as their advertising is concerned, they used to go for the local contents, because local content, if you are talking about, then it will give you a it will motivate people, it will persuade people to go for the product, and people would able to relate, people able to connect through this local content. Three major difficulties occur in attempting to communicate international. The message may not get through to the intended recipient due to the lack of media knowledge. Also another point to talk about, when you're talking about advertisement, also you have to talk about the what are the media. You have options of three media. You have option of print media, electronic media, outdoor media, or social media. Four options you have. Will you go for print media or electronic media or outdoor media or social media? Because that is, we talk about the, you have to communicate international. The message may not get the through to the intended recipient due to the lack of media knowledge. That is why when you talk about the media, you have to think about who is media is better as far as your international advertising strategy is concerned. That we're talking about the, you have two approaches. You can have a already we have talked about in case of product, that is companies can go for standardization or adaptations. When you talk about the standardizations, you have a common approach for all the countries. You have the common product, common price, common promotions. All will be remain same across all the countries. But whereas it was adaptations, your message, your product, your price, your promotion, everything, all marketing mix will differ from country to country. That is you talk about. You have to adapt for everywhere. So that is why we talk about the standardization and versus adaptations. Let us talk about that. So when you're talking about the iPhone, Apple iPhone. So when it is a high-tech product, high-end product, premium product, most of the premium product, they go for standardization approach. Because why? Because people have a different perception as far as our COO is concerned, country of origin is concerned. They have a different perceptions. So if you are talking about a standardized approach, then people perceive it is an international product. It has different means. It has different requirements. So people accept it. But when you are going to promote one shampoo or toothpaste, so it requires adaptation approach, because the food, preferred food, apparel, all related to your cultures or little related to your local aspects. So unless you have a adaptability approach, unless you change your approach in that particular country, then it will not become a successful one. So that is why we talk about, that is standardization versus adaptations. And that is 1983 Levitt, in which he stated that the business needs tests have been in irrevocably humanized. But exactly, is it correct? But I don't think that is exactly, that is, it has not become in homogeneous throughout the globe, because the taste and preference of different countries differs. Where we prefer to have leg piece when we are going for the chicken, but whereas that is in like other countries, they don't like leg piece. That is why you must have seen the leg piece, the chicken, like chicken leg piece is higher as compared to that is provided by all McDonald and the Burger King, that is high price as compared to the other place, because that is a high demand. The taste and preference is not homogenized. It has dissimilar across all the countries. So that is why, unless you talk about the importance of that particular country, unless you talk about the what is that is how it will benefit the companies, the local country, people won't go for the product. That is why we talk about the advantage of by such strategy. This includes economies of scale. If you are going for a standardizations, then exactly the same campaign you are running throughout the globe. You are throughout the globe when you are campaigning those similar kind of ad, similar kind of promotions. Automatically, it helps you to achieve economies of scale. That is in case of your standardizations. Low advertising products cost becomes advantage as far as advertising cost is concerned. It have a low price consistent across all international parameters, because you don't have exactly. So what happens before few years, the companies used to have, as far as LG is concerned, as far as Hyundai is concerned, as far as iPhone is concerned, they used to bring all uh, adaptation strategy. But now they have realized the customers of India has become more of educated. They are looking for premium product. So that is why they have decided to have a standardization approach. So here just I wanted to submit that is you can go for the standardizations or adaptations. That depends on the product you are dealing with. If you are dealing with high-tech product and product is a well-known product, it has a global market. So if you are going for a standardization approach, then it will work. But if the product is just a low involvement product, and it also has influence as far as culture is concerned, then exactly you have to go for adaptations approach. You are going for adaptations approach will help you to bring the content, the communication as per the requirement of the particular country where you are operating. That is the standardization and adaptations. Then we talk about the next advantage of transfer of sharing of good ideas, bringing greater sophistication for less developed countries. Okay, but you are creating in a different image altogether as far as your product is concerned, as far as your big international company, you wanted to portray differently to the customers. But when you will be going for standardizations, when you will be going for adaptations, that decision you have to take with the course of time. Exactly, you cannot take it immediately. Sometimes it works, it gives you dividends, but every time you go for standardization approach, what will happen? Certain products that requires adaptation strategy. So if standardization strategy you are going for, that will not. That is why you have to see which one is better as far as your communication program is concerned. Standardization versus adaptations. So this is you talk about the standard. Also we have talked about standardization versus adaptation as far as your product is concerned. So here we are talking about as far as IMC is concerned, you can have standardization and adaptation approaches. So let us discuss one by one the things which we have discussed in the beginning. Let us discuss one by one. So when we are talking about integrated marketing communications, we talk about integration marketing communications because there is a change in the approach of the marketer and the consumers. Consumer is also overloaded with informations. Does not market has become clutter. So that is why the consumer does not have time to watch your advertisement. So that is why the advertisement has to be a interactive and digital one. Similarly, the sales promotion, personal selling have become more customized. Direct marketing has become more popular. That is why you have to change your approach as far as your advertise, as far as your communication is concerned. So the traditional marketing communication is limited to IMC, that limited marketing mix. Now it is going beyond the traditional one. It has included branding, packaging, but that is why we are talking about the IMC. When you talk about the IMC, IMC is a integrated one, coordinated one, and the message is a single voice, consistent voice over the time. Like other categories, if you are going for promotional mix, where you take the help of advertising, sales promotion, and other sources, they are not so like consistent. But if you talk about integrated one, it is it is a consistent one. It is a single voice is talking about, and that is why the integrated marketing communication reinforce, synergize, complement one another to deliver a single coherent and consistent message to the target customers. When you are talking about the rationale for IMC, when you talk about the rationale, will you go for IMC? Because why it is the need? Because the credibility of existing platforms is has deteriorated. The credibility has deteriorated. Also, the meantime, the impact has deteriorated, because if start talking about the same thing again and again, people will be do not have any interest as far as your marketing, as far as communication is concerned. That is why to increase the credibility, impact, you have to go for the IMC. IMC is one of the best platform which gives you the credibility and impact. The cost of obtaining is IMC is also better as compared to promotional mix. If are going for IMC, it is more of less cost. That is why you have to go for the IMC. Then also, if you are dealing with one product, then it's okay. You can go for the promotional mix, advertising, sales promotion, or other ways. But when you are dealing with so many products, and all products requires personal attentions, and you have to go for the IMC. And in order to maintain a consistency in communication, ensure resource optimizations, then exactly you have to go for the IMC one. So what are the elements of that is, you talk about the elements of IMC. We are talking about advertising. It's a platform of communications, which is what advertisement is a costly affair, but it has a that is advantage. It can influence behavior of anybody. That is, there is a say that is exactly, you cannot sleep the whole night if you have come across the advertisement unless you purchase the product. That is the power of advertising. Advertising has the power to influence the behavior and can motivate any individual to go for the product. When you talk about the public relation and publicity, that is also public relation and publicity, where public relation is trying to connect, try to establish a relationship with all the stakeholders, employees, shareholders, all the stakeholders will be connected through the public relation. But whereas in publicity, that is a non-platform of communications. If you wanted to give a stunt, publicity stunt, then if you wanted to get attention, immediate attention, then better is to go for the publicity. Then you talk about the sponsorship. When you talk about the sponsorship is also as a growing component, and people are spending on promotions to get the promotion, that is to get the attentions. The promotion sponsorship has advantage of cross-platform, cross-media relationship, sponsoring aid in developing and reinforcing the brand's image. In order to sponsor something, you either have to entirely have to go for, or you have to partially have to go for. When you talk about the sales promotion is also another way, but it is different from other promotional methods because it gives incentive to the customers. That is includes the different goods. Gamification exactly is one of the growing trend as far as your communication is concerned, because you wanted to engage the young people through the games, and where they are encouraged to take some decisions, where they are involved, and they are becoming the co-creator of the communications. And need to talk about the content marketing is the process, content, the what kind of content you are offering to the market. That is we talk about the travel blogs, travel agent site, and photos uploaded in amateur stylist. Clothing in commerce app is all requires content. The content is better content, it will be definitely improve the like connectivity with the customers. Direct mail, exactly we talk about directly you can connect with the customers. You have to have a direct mail or interaction with the customers through the emails. Then we talk about the events, exhibitions, and conference. That are the other platforms, which is event where there is a you are getting a platform to get persuade the target audience. So that is why, but you have to see the kind of event or the kind of product you're dealing has to have a alignment. The event or the exhibition, the conference you are participating has a correlation, has a alignment with the product you are offering. If that does not match, then your objective won't be fulfilled. Then we talk about the merchandising, we talk about the in-store promotions. When we talk about through the product, merchant and the point of sales, we are going to promotions. Packaging can be another way of promoting to the target audience. Then we are talking about the what are the benefits. Already we talk about the consistent message, single platforms, single voice, and all are coordinated. That are the benefits of the IMC. When you talk about the how can you develop, you talk about SOSTAC, situation analysis, objectives, your strategy, tactics, and action and control. That is through which you can have the where do you stand, how to if you wanted to bring your objective is to reach a different position, what kind of strategy you'll be adopting, that all we have discussed. Then we talk about the social media, how it is influencing the IMC, and it is the growing trend because there is a lot of people, and exactly the advantage of tracking the activities of the customers. You can able to track the activities of customers, where we can talk about the automations in marketing, social CRM that can be included. You can establish relationship with the customers at a broad perspective. You see, the mostly the customer is spending a lot of time on this platform. That is why it is one of the advantage as far as IMC is concerned. Then we talk about the big data. Big data is that is when you have the data, you can play with the data. You can work with the data. You have to have a connections. Have to you can get data from the different sources. Your acquisition cost will be minimum if you are going for the big data. When you talk about the international advertising, you have to think whether we will be going for we'll be extending the message, we are going for adoption of new advertising, or we are going for or create a new message. That depends on that is the kind of things we are going for. Then we talk about standardizations and versus optimization. If you have a common approach for across all the markets, then you have to go for the standardization one. Then you go for the otherwise you have to go for the adaptations ones. With then we talk about the different language lifestyle, that is we talk about, that is why you have to go for the standard adaptations one. So with this, I think I have clearly defined how IMC is relevant in the international market, or will be going for the standardizations or adaptations, or will have a different strategy altogether, or keeping in mind the language, culture, and lifestyles. With this, we are concluding this session. Thank you all.